many different topics, especially English. And what else? I love pets, especially dogs. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So, always something,
Yeah,
always
it's good.
something nice to share.
Oh my God,
So,
that's something wrong with your
yeah, I know
screen.
it's my camera.
Yeah,
I
your
think it's
camera.
only with Zoom because in other apps this is not happening, but I cannot fix right now. So let's move on. Okay. So yeah, about myself, something that you might not know is that I also host the meetings in French here because I'm both, not because I'm fluent or because I'm advanced, just because I wanted to force myself to study. So I thought if I'm live on YouTube every week, I will have some reason to study because I don't want to embarrass myself. So if you want to join me in the immersions in French, you are always welcome. Okay, so the second question, since we introduced ourselves already, the second question, can you share with us about your background? Were you raised by your parents? Tell us a little bit about this, okay? Some context, actually. Fernando, can you start?
Yes, I was raised by my mom and my grandfather. I didn't meet my father, my biological father, but my grandfather uh, was uh, was in this role of father, So I didn't really miss it because he was in this role, and I have nothing to complain about my childhood. I have a good childhood. We a very simple childhood actually, but we uh, we we never uh, went through hardship, so I have nothing to complain about it. And I was raised like, the only son, because I am the only son. So I was super protected. My mom always protect me a lot, more than she should, I guess. And so sometimes it was a little difficult because I couldn't go out to play soccer on the street because my mother was too worried about that. And yeah, I don't know what to say more, but I think that's it. It was a good childhood, actually.
Yeah, amazing. Just for context, because we're gonna talk about family, so it's nice to understand a little bit more about yourselves. Okay, thank you so much. And as for myself, I was raised by my parents, my mom and my dad. My dad was traveling a lot because of his job, and I don't think he was absent. He was every time he was around, he was very present, and he was always worried, not only about providing, but about being a part of our lives. I think that's the most important. And I have a sister, so I wasn't a only child. And I learned a lot about how to share, sometimes too much, to share the specific things, how to be fair with sharing things, because it could be a fight here around my household. Your piece is bigger than mine, and this type of situation. But it was amazing. I can't complain either because I learned so much, and they gave me love, education. I think the most important things I could ask for. It's not like I'm the most successful person that I know today, but a lot of things that I have in my life, I'm thankful for them because they showed me the way. And um, as a matter of fact, they keep showing me a lot of things to this day because I think I will never stop learning from them or other people around me. That's the main reason that I'm here, probably, I guess. I don't know. And how about you, Bruno?
Well, I rise with my parents, my mom and my dad and my siblings. I have one son and one sister. I'm the youngest son, children, and then that's it. I maybe no, I think it's not like Fernando said that it's a height protect my mother. It's not do with me, not did with me, but sometime my son have had a lot of comfortable, a lot of it's possible to go side the outside. It's more easy. I think it's easier for because is men and my mom all the time said for me it's impossible I do anything because I'm a woman, I'm girl, so it's impossible. So it's terrible, I think, but it's okay. That's it.
Yeah, that is an interesting point. I also have a brother. I forgot to mention. It's completely different. Like my brother came here, my dad offers him beer, like hanging out, chilling. And if I want to have a glass of beer, oh my gosh, you shouldn't. Because why? Because you are a woman. That's not a reasonable reason, you know? So I can totally relate with you. And also maybe you said you are the youngest child, right? So I think the youngest has some privileges because the parents learn a lot through the way, you know. So when the youngest child comes, it's a little bit easier. They are not so concerned about not getting it right. So I my sister say some things like this to me sometimes because I'm also the youngest. So maybe we feel like, oh, my dad and mom learned what they weren't supposed to do, and now that I was born, it was easier for them to manage parenthood, you know. And you, Rafael, sorry, I love nicknames.
No problem, no problem. In my case, was similar, Fernando, because I was raised for my mother, and my biological father uh, uh, don't don't grow up with my mother, help my mother this thing, and but when I was 2 years old, and my mother meet my stepfather, and stepfather was similar my biological father, and helped my mother grow up me. So, uh, my opinion, my that less was time this app for me is for excellent, and I love this time. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, sometimes the stepfather it's better because he choose to be a parent, you know. He committed to your mother, and sometimes it's they have a better relationship with kids than the biological fathers because some of them just go away sadly, but it's part of reality, right? So let's talk about question number 3. What does family influence mean to you? I'm gonna share Bruna to start this one. I guess she's, oh, you can go.
What does family influence mean to you?
Mhm.
I think it's the value. When you what influenced me, the value that my mother and my father uh, early, learning from me. I think that's it influence. Uh, Let me see more. The costumes, maybe. Costumes is fantasia. Os costumes. Uh, it influence. Let me influence. Yes, I think what your mother and your father or anybody help you to reason your, I think it's the value and influence in your life all the time. I think that's it.
That is a fair point. Even your judgment, right? Sometimes it's, in my case, it's a lot of influence by my parents. Like they taught me what is wrong or right, but this is a matter of perspective sometimes. So I cannot say it's the absolute truth, what they taught me. But I guess it is about the choices you make in your life as well, because I heard a lot of times about making a public exam, doing a test to have a public job, a lot of this type of conversation here in my house. And I chose my graduation course because of that, actually. And to this day, I don't have this type of passion to have a public job, just uh, have the stability. It's great, but it's not like I want to have this routine, like all the parts of, So until this day, my choices are highly influenced by my parents, because we spend so much time together. So I guess it's kind of hard to not listen, to not feel like I should consider the things they tell me, and I don't know, it is about your environment, the things you listen, the things you don't listen, all the lifestyle, for example. So it's a big picture in reality. And what do you think, Fernando?
I couldn't agree more. I agree with you. And I think that when you are a kid, you listen a lot all the time. So you listen a lot of things that your parents say. You know their values, and they talk to you too. So you learn a lot of things. Maybe you are not aware of that learning process, but you are learning all the time. And not that you need to agree with everything, because I don't agree with a lot of things that my mother thinks. She thinks that I should have like a standard life, as I said, like that profession, that standard profession, that's go through an exam, go, everything's so standard, so normal. But it's how she learned, and I think in a different way. But there are a lot of things, especially with my grandfather, that I learned a lot. When I was a teenager, I was in that phase that you are a rebel teenager, around 14, that I made some shit. I stole some money from his wallet, and he asked me, Fernando, did you stole that money? And I know, no, of course no. But he knew that I that I did that to buy some CDs, some silly things. And he talked to me like, you should never do something like that because of this, that. And his eyes were with tears, and I've never forget about that. And he didn't need to be mad with me, angry with me. He just talked to me, and I never forget. So it was a lesson, a valid lesson. So I think it's more or less like this. And I'm gonna stop to not cry, because I'm one of the.
My gosh, this is already so deep. I'm like, sometimes disappointment is even worse than anger, right? If you like, if you are angry, this is going to pass. But disappointments, like I should know better. You have this feeling that you gotta change, you gotta be better, you gotta listen to others because they actually care about you, right? So
Yeah,
disappointments,
exactly.
terrible. you can see in their eyes, like you said. I can only imagine this type of situation. And you, Rafa, can you share about yourself?
Yeah, I think that's true. The family is also 100% or 90% influence us about the opinion, the life, the situation. But in my case, I listen to my mother and my father every time. Not actually, not just my mother and my father. I listen to my uncle, sometimes my cousin. That people I believe, the people true that's safe for me to help me. And so yeah. When I was children, my mother beat me. So I think that time was time I needed to the situation, but I learned and I not repeat that situation uh, just to learn and not repeat again. Yeah, I think so about that.
And there is a polemic issue, the punishment, especially physical punishment. Do you guys have this same feeling as Rafael about this beating your kids? What do you guys think? I'm gonna drop the ball. Bruno, I can see you are thinking, reflecting, maybe.
Rafael said that his mother beat him, and I think and they completed that he need it's necessary maybe similar they said he said about this. I think it's very interesting because my father and my mother beat me a lot, but all the time in the past, everybody said it's necessary to beat for educational. Today, I know it's not necessary. My first son, I beat a lot. It's terrible in my mind today. It's terrible. It's not necessary, but I don't have patience. I don't have the patience in this time. I I'm I think I'm ignorant. I think it's this correct word, the right word, because my second son, it's easy about the education. It's not necessary to beat a lot, but sometimes I beat. It's terrible, and it's possible to education without a beat. I think that.
I can imagine it's not
And
easy being a mother.
yes, in the example, I think it's more family fluency that you do for your son. It's necessary. Sometimes, all the time, I think, oh, it's nothing that I do. It's my son's saw, see. But see, I now I understand that uh, they do all all that I do. When I not close, then they they comporta, they I don't know, get eles se comportam,
Behave.
behave. That's it. They behaved so good. So I think it's very important the example.
That's true. How about
Yeah,
you, Fernando?
about the beating thing. I have a son, a 14 years old boy, and I used to think like this, that sometimes we need to do that, after when they pass the bound. So sometimes it's useful, and his mother used to say that she didn't agree with that, but she's okay. She was okay with my opinion, separates opinion. But I remember that I've never beat my son, but I gave him gave some slaps in his hand, just to pass some kind of fear in that situation when he's not behaving well. But nowadays I think totally different. I think it's not useful, and that's good that his mother didn't agree with me, and nowadays I think like this, the best option is always talk, and I'm glad that I went through this way, even though I was thinking that I was wrong, but nowadays I know that I was right.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Like I saw a video with some kids, the mother was showing like belts or flip-flops, and the kids were like, "Oh, the belt it's for the clothes. The flip-flop is for you to wear." They didn't have any clue about being beaten, I guess, because their reality were totally different. And for me, it brought some memories because I realized I wasn't an easy kid, and sometimes, yeah, I had this type of situation coming around my house, But I don't feel
Yeah,
like no hard feelings or something deep that I can't handle right now because of this past. But some people they feel like, oh, they talk, they share that it's not a big deal, but when the way they act, you realize there is something wrong. There is something they are holding some grudge, or they can't handle emotions because they were taught how to be close, how to close themselves. So it is a deep matter, but I guess we are doing some progress. We are making some progress with it.
yeah. My mother used to try to beat me, but I was a fast runner. So when I see my mom taking the belt, I ran
But that's
very,
even
very
worse.
fast.
When she finds you, oh my gosh. Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah, that's true.
Whenever she finds the runner, oh my gosh, I fear for her life.
Yeah,
Okay, Rafael, don't worry. I hope you have a nice night. So the next question, I'm gonna talk a little bit. No, I'm gonna skip this one. Let's talk about personality. I think it's more interesting than physical aspects. Okay. So in terms of personality, who is your biggest influence? Could be your family or some friends of yours. I don't know. Bruna, can you start this question?
It's terrible for me assume this, but I'm a biggest fluency by my mom. Because all the time I said, "Oh my gosh, my mom is terrible." Because yes, she is like a military. She's not military, but it's a big military all the time. It's not only necessary to look for us and me and my brother and my sister and me to say anything. It's not necessary to talk no any words. Only look for me. I understand all that she needed to speak for me. That's it. And the very rigid the the create and now I do the same with my son. Oh, it's bad. Yeah, and my mom is very active. I think it's go getter person, batalhadora, and I'm like her. That's it. I do many things. I'm I'm not slowly. I'm very fast all the time. I need to do many thinking the same time. I multitask. It's so bad, like my mother. That's it. The personality is like her. Yeah, it's terrible for me. Oh my God, my mom is terrible, but I I don't know, push all her. That's it.
So there is always something good about being a go-getter. It's amazing. You can accomplish a lot of things in your life. You should look at the bright side. You know, nobody's perfect. Not your mother, not you, not me or Fernando. So it's part of life. But I completely understand when you say, sadly, I'm just like her. Like not every single thing, but a lot of aspects in your personality, right?
Yes.
I think I'm similar to my mom as well. She's awesome, don't get me wrong, but some things I disagree, just like Fernando said, because of mainly religion, I guess. Some things I don't see I try to her, you know. So, but the personality, I mean, being outgoing, being someone who likes to talk, and I I don't have a lot of problems making new friends. Sometimes it could be hard in work environment, especially. But if I'm here, for example, it's not something that I will get uncomfortable with, you know. And maybe the emotional part as well, because my dad's very closed, but my mother, she is very transparent. We know what she's thinking, or she might say one thing, but we look at her and we know she's feeling different. And I'm kind of like her. I'm kind of like her. I express my feelings. Sometimes I try to hide, but it's not so easy for me. Even I cry in places I shouldn't, or I should at least try to avoid. So I think I observed a lot from her, and I take some things after her because that's the environment I had growing up, you know. So it makes a lot of sense. And you, Fernando,
Yeah,
do you
it's
cry a lot
amazing.
as well?
Yeah, I do. Actually, I do. I'm a very emotional person, as my mom too. But it's amazing how we observe so many things from them, and we don't realize that. Like I always have this difficulty in living with her in adulthood. I live by myself nowadays, but it was a difficult relationship because she used to want everything in her way, you know. So uh, this was difficult, and nowadays I know that I am more or less like this. I like everything in my own way, like the things in that place, in that right place, and uh, I get some OCD thing with the things in the wrong place. So yeah, and I didn't realize that is something exactly like my mom that I used to criticize so much. Here I am.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah,
I I have this feeling that after a certain age, we feel like guests in our own house. No, that's maybe one of the reasons we wanted to change to go to other house. So but now we feel like, oh, my mother kind of had a point there. So it's kind
yeah,
of uncomfortable to feel like this. I can relate.
yeah. But it's something that is difficult for me and her, for example, live together in the same house because I am like this and she is like this too. So there is a conflict, inevitable.
That's true. Some people share that their relationships with parents improves after, you know, moving out because you are missing them more and you feel like, oh, we have this type of healthy contact, not all the time getting sick of each other.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. After I start living by myself, our relationship has become better and better. It's so great. We talk and we agree with things, but when we are living together, it's not like that.
I think
That's
that
so
it's
interesting.
occurring because it's you need your privacy. it's necessary. It's the same. You like the same things, do the same things, but it's necessary. Your privacy. I think that's it. When you go to move out to your parents' house, it's very different. If you need to come back for the house, parents' house, everybody said about this. When you leave, it's something. When you go out, and it's necessary to come back, it's very difficult because you change your mind about the provider. I think that's it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just with me, but I mentioned that living thing because after start living by myself, there was a time that my mom comes to live with me. It was not me living with her. It was her living with me. But when it comes to parents, they it is like they are always the bosses, you know. Even if it's your house, they they gonna decide what to do. They yeah.
When a teenager, every time they I want to go to a party, for example, and okay, I don't know what time I come back. What? In my house? No, I'm the boss, and you need to satisfaction about your time or where you live, where you go, and anything. So when you go need to come back all the time, oh my God! But I needed to information what I do. Everything is again, it's terrible. No, they
Yeah,
provide. It's very important for everybody.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
They are going to break you with just one sentence. I gave birth to you. I can't find that. It's not fair. No, I can never
Yeah,
give birth to her. So we are not gonna be equal ever. So
yeah,
I feel like
it's better than the house is mine, and I am the boss. I gave birth to you, so it's the better argument, the best argument. Yeah,
hands down. I'm gonna use this one. I not like in a toxic way, but sometimes I'm gonna say, "Oh, I survived the pandemic. You should go to school because it's nothing, you know." And I'm gonna say I gave birth to you, but in a friendly way. I hope. I can't make promises because it's easier said than done. I guess. So I guess we have time for one more question. I'd like us to skip some of them and talking about question number 9. We were talking about breaking the cycle, about violence, about beating your kids. How do you guys think we can escape negative influence in? Because, like I said, our parents aren't perfect, right? So how do you guys think we can be better in some ways? Would like to start?
Go ahead, Fernando.
go ahead, please.
Okay, well, one thing that I did is I go at psychology. I used to escape to negative influence because have anything I think it's wrong. Not wrong, it's negative influence. Like my mother too, and I don't want to influence my son, and it's necessary use it to go to the psychology. But and the other side, I think maybe to read any books, maybe let me see more that I to escape the negative influence. I don't know. I remember that's it. It's one thing that I do and helped me a lot to to influence positive my son. Because if you broke the negative influence, it's possible you do difference in the other life. I think it's
Yeah, I think now we have so much access to information that we don't have any excuse to not improve, to not be better, because my parents, all parents, our parents, didn't have this. They just had like the what 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 their parents said, and it was the truth. It was the only truth. Now we have access to the internet, to so many things, and we have to take advantage of that to be better persons and to convey a better message to our kids, and yeah, and in that way the wheel will keep on. Yeah.
yeah. But one thing that, for example, the psychologist said for me, it's that you in the family influence, it's very hard for the children. No, it's difficult. You broke this when you receive a long time. For example, I received the negative influence, for example, for my 14 years, for example, and it's I don't know the name, tipo enraizado in inner. It's difficult to broke to affect this, no, and it's not. I think it's not easy to only read the information about the internet, because the children don't want to read the real is this. For example, here in my children don't like to read anything in the internet. Only the video game, only the specific things that they like. Only this.
Yeah,
It's
but not,
difficult. Go.
sorry, Bruno, but not for them, for us
All right.
as parents,
Mm.
because we have access, like you said, that therapy is great, and our parents, my grandfather, I cannot imagine him going to therapy. It would be like a crazy
Yeah.
thing. So nowadays
Yes.
we know that we need that, and it's good, it's healthy. So we seek those things. We go, we search those things, and we learn through those processes.
Yes, I agree. It's in the past, the psychology, it's like a crazy person. No, it's the only crazy person go at the psychology. Today, my mother, I think, I don't know the antiquado, maybe square person, no, antiquado, but is don't agree that the psychology it's so good to broke this negative influence, for example. It's terrible. I think it's something that helped me a lot.
Yeah, it does. It helped me too.
You know what? Sometimes people that criticize the psychologists are the people you are. They are the reason that why you are going to the psychologist in the first place. You know, maybe some people don't like when you set some boundaries in your life. So if you are, oh, you changed. Why do you change? And you say, oh, I went to the psychologist, and this person is starting to think this professional is not so good because they are not happy about your changing some behaviors and breaking this cycle, you know. When you say about years of influence, I was thinking maybe we should seek for other types of influences in your life. Surround ourselves by good, positive people with similar ideas to ours. Not like you can't disagree with others, but it is important to have someone who can be a role model for you as a parent, and exchange ideas, advice, and things like that. You know.
Yeah, and we are changeable beings. We change all the time. Like learning is a lifelong process. So it's it's like I said, we can be surrounded by good role models for us.
I think every parent should go to therapists, like before becoming a parent, and especially after, because a lot of things change, right? Your life will never be the same again. And it's okay to feel overwhelmed or guilty about some behaviors or choices eventually. I don't know if I could be a parent someday, but if I I make this choice, therapist is on my list, you know.
Yeah, therapy is so good. You know, you listen to yourself. It's almost like we are doing now. Then we listen to ourselves that about talking about something that we are not used to talk used to talking every day. So it's so good. This.
That's true. I'm kind of doing a therapy with myself because I'm writing something every day. So journaling, I don't know if you heard about it. So every day I answer one question, and oh my gosh, these questions are so deep about setting boundaries, about your friendships, about procrastination. So I'm always questioning myself, and oh my gosh, I have a lot of things to improve. Hey guys,
Everybody
welcome
does.
back. Welcome back. Okay, Bruna, thank you. Hey, Ayla, Ju, Leonardo, and Bruno. I want to know, how was the conversation? Did you enjoy?
Yes, was very nice. Sometimes a little bit difficult to talk about some topics because they are very complex issues. But I think was a very nice opportunity to try to know each other and also to have some conversations about this topic.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're discussing about breaking the cycle, you know, about violence, about maybe some negative issues you got from your parents. And I'd like to know from you, let me just, question number 9, okay? How can we escape this negative influence in our lives? Are you a parent? Do you have some tips? It could be Leonardo.
Well, we are much in the comprehension that what we call family, it's as a very broad way to understand. Sometimes the father figure, the mother figure, it's not necessarily your mother from the blood or your father from some standard way. I mean, there are many people who you can admire and follow, and those people maybe are somebody who you will, I mean, you can follow, and also some situations like this you can have some help. I don't know if this was very clear, but I get a little bit confused now.
No worries. I totally understood. It's important to have these influences, and like you said, it could be even a friend of yours, right? You can always find this help and someone to support you with your dreams and problems. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Leonardo. And guys, just a reminder that I shared with you the survey, okay? This is a link. You can share your opinion, ideas, suggestions, give a score, okay? I want to see your name. And there is amazing way. I always read the comments, and I can always learn how to make a better conversation, okay, a better environment for you. And now I have another question for Ayla. Question number 6. Do you recall any behavior that you copied from your parents?
So my main behavior I copied coming from my mom. because my mom was a single mother, so I had no contact with my father. But a part of my mom, I had a one teacher, and she was like a mother for me, you know. And because she taught me a lot of things, and she taught me to be patient and to be resilient. So I'm grateful for this. But after my mom, I think it was this teacher.
That's amazing. I'm gonna change the name to like mother, like son, because we have mothers running. They are the bosses here, not the fathers. Some of you shared about being more having the mothers more present than the fathers. That's why I'm making this joke. You know, I think it's common in some families. The dad is not around, so the mother becomes like even bigger, even more present, right, in our lives. So the mothers are the best for sure. No offense, Fernando, I know you are that.
No, but I agree with you.
Okay, so, and how about you, Ju? How was the conversation? Do you have something else to add about this topic?
That conversation's great. I liked this topic. It's a difficult topic because you need to remember the more things, your family, your parents, but it's a good topic. You can learn about yourself when talking this.
Fernando mentioned it's just like a therapy section, not equal, of course, but similar because you think a lot about yourself, your past, your present, the people that influence you, you know, that's sometimes that happens. We feel like we are talking to the therapist. That's common. So I want to thank you guys for your presence. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation, and always welcome to come back. And I think I will see you around. I'm always here, so that's very likely to happen. I love this place. Okay, guys, have a nice week and see you next time.
Bye bye.
See you
Thank
guys.
you.